Okay, in this video, I'm going to talk about the spline sketch tool in Solidworks. So, splines are good for creating any sort of organic looking surfaces, like maybe if you're designing a wavy feature or designing a Tesla car surface, anything that has organic looking shapes, you would need to use a spline. Could be like a cartoon character like Pikachu or something. You may need a spline for that as well. So let's go ahead and sketch on the top plane. So here we have three different options. You have a spline, a style spline, and equation-driven spline. So the spline is just the basic one where you click points. The style spline has like guided uh, edges that helps you sketch your spline, and then the equation-driven one is you supply an equation and it'll plot the equation out. So here we're gonna make a simple spline. You can see you could create several points and just drag it. And then once you create it, you could control like the curvature as so, right? And see, I could change it like that. I could also move the endpoints to different locations, or I could close it up if I wanted to. So that's how you can make a simple spline. To dimension it, it can be a little bit more complicated than the other ones. So we'll go ahead and dimension a more simple one. So let's say we had a spline like maybe like a trajectory or something, or like a weird looking parabola. So here we're gonna have a line here, and then what we would need to dimension this. So here you can see this. Could dimension this to that. Okay, so here we could dimension this angle here. So that will fix this angle and you could no longer change it. And then we could go ahead and do the same thing for here. You could dimension that angle as well. So the only other parameter is this location. So I could dimension this location to be something, and then this point to be something like so. But the bottom part is moving, so I need to dimension that. And here's our ugly looking, it looks like a rock. Okay, so our rock has been defined. And yeah, so that's how you fully define a spline. So you can see it's kind of involved. You just need to make sure the your main spline points are fixed and then the angle is fixed because those are the main degrees of freedom. Okay, so we'll look at the style spline. So with the style spline, you could just start sketching with these surfaces like so. And it's just more of a way to help you guide your surface. So here's a weird looking spline. And then you could play around with the other ones for the different types. But the main idea is you have segments and they kind of follow along the segments. Okay. And then the last one, you have the equation driven spline. So you have the explicit and parametric. So we could go ahead and make a sine graph, or this is a function of x actually. So we could say it starts at 0 and it's at 10. So voila, you have a sine graph. And we could go ahead and edit this. Maybe we want a parametric. So we have something like t plus sine of t, and then maybe a t minus cosine 2 times t. So here you see something funky. Okay. So that's the parametric one. If you guys recall back in, I think it was pre-calc or something, you have parametric where you have your variable t and you could vary the t, and then your x and y functions are functions of t. That's what the little t's are here for. And then these two is just a start and end values for your t. Okay, so that's how you could work with explicit and parametrics. And that summarizes the different spline functions. So if you found this video helpful, give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.